Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to review this thing called a movie. 1984's Purple Rain.
I love this movie. It is a bad movie in all the best possible ways a movie can be bad.
Yes.
I don't care about the dialogue. I'm just there for the music. And it's not only it's Morris Day and the motherfucking time too.
if you take that attitude going into this movie, you're good to go. You're 100%. Good to go. So 1984's Purple Rain stars Prince as the kid, Apollonia Kotero as Apollonia, Morris Day as Morris, Olga Karlatos as mother, and Clarence Williams as father. They couldn't even give these bitches names. It's like, what's your name? Corey? Okay, in the movie, you're Corey. What's your name? Armando? You're Armando. You two bitches, you're just mother and father. Fuck off.
What's your name? My name is Prince. You're the kid. I don't know. You're the kid.
Life's a bitch.
There wasn't a lot of thought into a story here. The story is very basic bitch at best.
Yes.
And you don't. And here's why I say this, because again, I love this movie. So save your fucking comments, because I'm not shitting on it, but I'm about to shit on it.
So what's the matter?
You have the conflict between Morris and the kid.
Yes.
Right? That is what's mainly driving the story. And then Apollonia comes in and she's put into the middle of it. Because it's the 80s when you can throw bitches in dumpsters. So you have this conflict, but you have no idea why. Is it just because they're competing? Did Morris fuck over the kid at some point in time and trying to produce him? Did the kid do the same to Morris? What happened that makes them loathe each other like this?
Yeah, this whole film, I was 30 minutes in and I was like, is there a fucking plot to this movie? Because it just seems like I could sum up this movie in about 10 seconds. It's club, concert, some conflict between the bands and internally in the bands. Club owner yells at the kid. Kid goes home, abusive father. Back to the club, back to abusive father. He becomes the abuser. Back to the club, he learns a lesson, has fun, end of movie, jizz guitar. That's the whole movie in a nutshell. And again,
I was really impressed that you brought up the abuser into the abuser part, because that was actually the main driving point for the storyline. However, once you mentioned and reminded me of the neck with the jizz guitar, that's the point of it. That's what you're in this movie for. That's what you sit down for an hour and 40 minutes to get to, is a guy stroking a guitar neck and watching it jizz all over a crowd.
That's
phenomenal.
I mean, that's the music business in a nutshell.
Something sexy, but not dirty.
Pretty much.
This movie opens up. It's like one of the most chaotic movies.
Yes.
Openings to a movie that I've ever seen. It's Prince concert, Morris Day getting ready and cleaning his apartment, Apollonia stealing money, trying to sneak into the club, then getting into the club, and then trying to get booked as a singer through the waitress?
Yeah, okay. So, as far as opening movie montages go, good job, because you got a good soundtrack, and you really do get a glimpse, because everything here is skin deep. There is no depth to anything. No. You get right away the idea of who everyone is.
That's very true.
Very obvious.
That's very true. And I mean, let's face it. This is an Elvis movie. Can we just say that?
Oh, Elvis, we got to win this race. We got to win this race.
Let's just put a plot around the singer and let him do his thing, and the whole movie's a soundtrack so we can sell the album. That's this whole film. One long... Basically, Michael Jackson produced this, because this is a long Michael Jackson video, is all it is. And...
Right.
But the funny thing is that Prince plays in this concert to open the show, right? Does a fantastic job. Crowd's going crazy. Yep. Then Morris Day and the Time hit the stage. In no universe, even this alternate universe, does Prince open up for Morris Day and the Time. Ever. That's never a thing.
No, it never is. But however, I will say this. At one of my birthdays when I was living in the Boston area, I went to Mohegan Sun and was able to see Morris Day and the Time in concert. Fucking brilliant show. They could have closed every show as far as I'm concerned. They're one of the greatest bands that ever existed. Fucking disagree with me. Disagree with me. I dare you, brah.
I'll take your word for it. But after this, you get this weird like interaction between Prince and Apollonia where they just stare at each other. And then Prince like Prince is such a creep in this movie.
No, he's a magician. Did you see what he did? He's in front of her and then is behind her wearing sunglasses.
He's like a 5'2" David Copperfield.
But yeah, dude, it's amazing what he does.
Yeah.
He's there and he's gone.
She turns around to say something to him and like he's disappeared. The only thing that was missing was the smoke. They just needed smoke and then no Prince. So after this, Prince gets home and then this is the scene I really didn't like because in my viewing of this movie, it was the internal struggle with a band. I've been in plenty of bands back in the day, and you have this struggle and who writes the songs and I want to write the songs and yada yada. So there's this internal struggle, and then there's like the one star that's like, man, fuck you, this is all mine. Right. That's one piece of this. Then you have like bands fighting each other, which is another piece. But the main piece to this is the abusive household that Prince comes from.
Yes.
And in introing this abusive household, it's a 6-second scene where his dad, like, I don't think you actually see him hit his mom, but he's got her backed into the corner. And then Prince runs over like,
Dad, look what he's doing.
And his dad smacks him the fuck through a goddamn door into the kitchen.
He sends Prince about 30, 40 feet through the air. That looked like Charlie Murphy kicking Rick James into the dresser.
But it cuts away to Morris Day and the club owner in the street. Basically, Morris Day and the club owner talking shit about Prince. And the club owner makes a statement here. And he said he's not pulling him in like he used to. The scene before, the club was packed. Prince and the Revolution get done with their show and people go apeshit.
Yeah.
What do you mean he's not packing him in like he used to? That looked pretty packed, and people went goddamn crazy at the end of his fucking show.
Yeah, this scene here reminded me of two things. One, it reminded me, Bobby, the club owner in this.
Yes.
It reminds me of the club owner in the Straight Outta Compton movie, where Dre's like, oh, I'm going to play some hip hop. And they're like, get that shit out of here. We play disco. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Reminded me of that. Like, he's unwilling to change with the times. So in his mind, he's not drawing him in. He sucks. Yeah. His music's only for him, blah, blah, blah. The second thing this reminded me of brought to my mind was the fact that this has to be where Aaron Sorkin came up with the walk and talk to fill in backstory and exposition.
Yes.
Because it serves no purpose.
Yep.
They're like, oh, the kid was supposed to show up for this meeting and he's not here. It's a mobile meeting. You're on the move. Where's he supposed to meet you exactly?
He's there. He's 3 blocks away,
right?
just
he's
waiting on you.
Catch up and run. He just got short ass legs.
And he's wearing fucking heels. He can't run that fast.
Mm-hmm.
Those goddamn heels made me laugh throughout this whole movie.
Dude, how that man is able to dance and ride a motorcycle in those things is impressive.
It's impressive. I have no idea how he does it.
Every time I tried on one of my ex-wife's heels, I just collapse. I can't wear them.
Is that what turns you on?
This bothered me, this whole thing, because this club owner is like every club owner I've ever run into while playing music. It's like, well, you're not packing them in. How about you do some motherfucking promotion, you son of a bitch? Spend a couple of dollars. What, are you just giving them what's coming through the door too? You're not even fucking paid. Here's your $50 and your free fucking bar tab. Fucking sons of bitch. I hate club owners so much.
It's all I dream about.
This is when the chick yells at Morris Day, I waited up for you all night and you never showed. And Jerome just tosses her into a fucking dumpster. It like this whole scene, there was no purpose for it.
No, this was just to show like Morris is a cold motherfucker, and they demonstrate this multiple times. They show that he's a fucking studio gangster. They show that he's a fucking punk. They show that he really doesn't have any money. He's got that cheap ass car where you got to bang on the window before the power window works. Like everything about him is fake, and they demonstrate it numerous times.
Yes.
You didn't need to take a fucking woman and throw her in a goddamn dumpster.
Nope.
And then they sit there and watch. Like, well, let's see if she comes out of that thing. And she pops out of the garbage can. It's supposed to be like, I don't know, an old Buster Keaton movie. She like pops out and goes, And then they're just like, oh, we better leave, Jerome, and take off.
But
again,
and then,
worthless scene.
But again, it cuts from the club owner walking through the streets to them throwing some bitch in a dumpster, and then right to Prince and Apollonia like hanging out and like starting to date, I guess. Again, with no context. This was like Colors. Like
right, he just kind of shows up.
Yeah. He takes her to like the river. And there's a couple of things that I have about this scene. Like questions or concerns, if you will.
There's a lot of things where this happens in this whole like getting to know you situation.
Yes.
I have multiple questions. So you go first. Okay. But I'm about to hammer this shit.
So, first of all, when I go to the river, I always like to hang out in full leather. Like that's one. Two, she says that she's there. She's from New Orleans. And you went to Minnesota to make it in music?
That was my biggest question.
Like Minnesota's this fucking... It's like this hotbed music scene.
It's all I dream about.
Walk the fuck out the 9th Ward, tip into Bourbon Street, and guess what you're going to find? Opportunities aplenty. There's nothing but clubs looking for singers there.
I've been to New Orleans, okay? I've been to Bourbon Street. Every bar has a band.
Yeah.
Like, you can play anywhere.
And can we just cover the fact that she says...
So where do you come from?
New Orleans.
That's not how you say it. You're not from there. She's a fuck. She is ratchet and is trying to do something wicked dirty here. I don't know what it is, but I know you're lying right off the goddamn jump to me about being from New Orleans.
I can't put my finger on it yet, but Prince puts multiple fingers on it later.
Hell yes.
So this is where Prince delivers the line.
You have to purify yourself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
And he's so weird and juvenile with her. And I get it. His name is the kid.
Yeah.
But you're also like a sexually mature man.
Yes.
Like you're acting so fucking... We got to cover this because it's really unfair to judge Prince in any way, shape, or form in this movie because he's so fucking weird. I have no idea what his motivation is, and I feel ashamed that I would ask. It's just like, that's a guy that's just doing him. Just let him be.
Well, and if you hear all the stories about Prince, where, you know, it's like 3 a.m, and he calls whoever to, I want a giraffe, or like whatever the fuck, there is no for Prince.
Yeah.
She gets naked, she jumps into the water, and then he just takes off, and then he giggles like a little kid.
After telling her that wasn't Lake Minnetonka, which is actually really fucking funny.
Yes.
But then it goes to like, oh, you're kind of like psychotic or like masochistic, like you like torturing people, because then you just heal the fuck out and leave this woman soaking ass wet to get back in her leather.
Yes.
Which is an impossible task in and of itself.
Yeah, how she did it is a miracle. After this, there's this weird scene that happens between Jerome and Morris Day.
It was moderately funny at first. Like these things are like, oh, they're doing Who's on First. That's funny.
Yeah.
And then it should end right around the same time you realize what they're doing.
Yes.
Because once you realize that, you already know the joke. So hearing them do it, it's just like, okay, I guess. Like, you know, it's 1984, not 1920.
The next is the backstage fight between the Revolution. Lisa and Wendy want to write some of their songs. And here's the funny thing. When I thought about this movie, I thought Prince, I thought Apollonia, and I thought Morris Day. I don't remember anything else. I don't even remember the Revolution having any lines in this movie. But Lisa and Wendy have a bunch of lines, and like their whole thing is, we wrote the song, you didn't even listen to it. And Prince in this, and this goes back to Prince being weird. Prince in this scene does this weird ventriloquist shit.
You don't need those girls or their stupid music. All you need is me.
You're a grown man, and you've experienced sexual relations. Stop fucking playing with your puppet.
Nope.
That's the only weird Prince thing that I'm completely going to disagree with anybody on. Like, well, the puppet signifies... no, it doesn't. It's fucking weird.
The puppet can signify a lot of things, but at the end of the day, it's just goddamn weird. Prince, after this, plays a one-song concert and then just bounces. Takes Apollonia to his place, where he does some more David Copperfield shit and disappears, and does the waving of the hands in front of her face, which apparently it puts her in a trance to where he could just rub on her crotch.
When you do this and you go, whew, that takes away all the apprehension.
No inhibitions.
Yep. I've literally been doing that since I saw this movie for the first time. Let me tell you, worked like a charm.
Enjoy it.
Apollonia should have been paid a king's ransom for this movie. Just, you got naked in once. She was an artist. Like, she was a singer.
Yeah.
Not an actress that's looking to make it big and, oh, honey, you got to show your boobs or whatever. This isn't that. She was a singer who got naked in a movie and then let Prince basically finger her in this movie.
Oh, yeah?
Even if you took a mediocre woman singer at this point and said, hey, we're going to put you in a movie, you're going to get naked, and then we're going to let Prince finger you for a little bit, you would literally have to pay her millions of dollars before the deal, before they even came to the table on the deal. But something tells me Apollonia got fucked in this whole thing.
I mean, like, can't you just leave it alone?
I was expecting it to be more implied, like they did in Fear.
Yes.
Where it's like, oh, my finger's on her thigh. Guess where I'm going?
Yeah.
This was just like, I'm rubbing in a counterclockwise motion your clitoris.
Morris Day makes a play at Apollonia. He wants to start like a new group with her, the Apollonia 6 or whatever the hell, which I only see 3 of them bitches, so I don't know how it's the Apollonia.
I was like, are they twice? Each one of them's twice the woman?
Apollonia 3 times 2. She buys Prince a guitar, takes him the guitar. Prince is like, oh my God, he's so happy and I'm so in love with you. And grandpa kisses. Then she tells him that she's going to be working with Morris Day, to which Prince turns into his father and smacks the fuck out of her. After this, the club owner then warns Prince that he has the Apollonia 6 or whatever, and he only has 3 spots. So let me get this straight, because then it shows the club owner going to see the Apollonia 6, and they're terrible. And by the way, that was a real song. Don't know if you knew that or not. But that was awful. And so you're telling me
they got one of the waitresses performing in it.
Yes. And you're telling me that this Apollonia 6 minus 3 is going to take the spot of the Revolution. Who's the third band? Because the club owner says I got 3 bands, and with that, the Apollonia 6, I can't have 4. Well, nobody's saying you can't have 4. You can, you just won't. But who's the third band? Because I'm keeping Morris Day. I'm keeping Prince. Who's the third band? Like,
they show him opening for Prince in one of the things.
Oh, that's right. And they're fucking terrible. You're going to keep that band? Cool.
Well, that's the biggest problem with this. The whole fucking arc of the movie is they keep acting like Prince's music is only for Prince. Nobody gets your music. It's not very good. We need the crowd. Sex sells, yada, yada. Everybody else is playing the game. But Prince is the only person in this entire movie that's had a successful music career, whose music hasn't just been for himself, because we've all heard it and all bought it. There's just certain places in here where it's like, you want us to believe that Prince is a bad artist.
Yeah.
Make him a bad artist at the beginning of the movie.
Yes. Well, and then...
You can't start a movie with Let's Go Crazy and expect us to be like, well, he's not drawing him in. Bitch, I'm doing this shit in the opening credits. What the fuck are you talking about?
Let's have some action.
Cue the montage and When Doves Cry playing. So he gets home. His mom's outside. She's obviously been beaten up again by his dad. He goes in. He's had enough at this point, right? He runs into the house and he goes from
Answer me, motherfucker!
to let's have a talk because you're playing the piano and let's talk music and it's okay. And I'm just going to talk about you beating the fuck out of my mom in this very like passive way.
Yeah.
I went from 100 to 5 miles an hour in the blink of an eye.
Yep. He's super charged up. All of this pent up shit. He is finally going to take his father down.
Yes.
Like you said, walks in the house, storming around everywhere. Answer me. Where are you, motherfucker? Screaming all this tough guy shit. Hear the fucking Purple Rain piano. And you go, Daddy. Daddy's a musician and I love it. By the way, you know, Mom got that black eye. You know how she did that? He's like, And she's like, yeah, you're right. She did fall down the stairs, Pop. Show me that music again.
Yeah.
And his dad is even shitting on him here, too, because he's like, did you write it down? He's like,
I don't write them down. I don't have to. There's a big difference between you and me.
You know what? Hey, Pops, how about this? How about I beat the fuck out of you like you just beat the fuck out of Mom and I throw you down the stairs? Huh? That gonna be good here? This is when they all go to the club. All parties involved are at the club. Prince performs Darling Nikki and starts air fucking everything. And
which, by the way, Darling Nikki, I'm gonna ask you, everybody down below, for your best song in this movie.
Dude,
Darling Nikki for me,
it's
amazing.
Such a good song.
You really liked it, huh?
I know everybody's like, Let's Go Crazy and Purple Rain and all the popular ones. For one of the like B-side songs, Darling Nikki is phenomenal as a song. And then, you know, he's obviously singing this to Apollonia. She gets upset. She bolts out.
If you are in a position where you think your girlfriend, because she's not done anything, let's be clear about it. She's not fucking Morris. She's just getting her money.
Yes.
And they paint her out to be this kind of babe in the woods. Like everybody's trying to tell her she doesn't know what she's getting in. Let me tell you something. She's the smartest fucking one of this whole group.
Yeah.
She knows exactly what she's doing. She's getting her money.
Outside of going to Minneapolis to get a music career, she knows what she's doing outside of that.
Well, right. Somebody lied to you about how geography works in the country. Because the West Coast is not Minneapolis.
But after this, though, this is when her and Morris Day, the Apollonia 6-3 perform. They're celebrating. Yep. He's drunk. She's a little drunk. They're going back to his car. Listen, I know you had a lot of glowing things to say about Morris Day. You gonna fuck in the car? You gonna fuck in the car?
That's totally right in line with his character. Of course he's gonna fuck in a car. He's got a futon at home. What's the fucking difference?
I didn't want to fuck in a car when I was like 17. Like, that just seemed gross to me. But whatever. You got a
small car. If you were a man and had a truck,
that Chevy Beretta wasn't getting it done.
Nope.
But then they hear the motorcycle and the 5'2" fucking Batman David Copperfield comes out of the steam in the alleyway. She hops on with him and then they take off to go make out in front of the trains.
Here's what I do know. One, they make it seem like she's getting set up into like a Cosby-esque situation. Like he's just supplying alcohol. The good news for her is he's drinking so much of that same shit, nothing is coming up.
Yeah.
Not a blood vessel is running down to his penis at that point in time. It's all just trying to keep him alive. Two, again, she's demonstrating how smart she is. She's like, where's Jerome? And this is the part where it sucks to be a woman, because she can't even be like, yo, you drunk fuck. Where's Jerome? What are you trying to do here? She has to keep on like, oh, where's Jerome? Oh my God.
She's giggling, like she's kind of playing along, but then she starts looking down the alley and there's like nothing around. And that's when you're like, this got dark real quick. And then
real quick. But again, she recognized it. It didn't have to be thrown in our faces. She recognized it. We as the audience were very obvious able to see what the dark alley connotation meant. Yeah. The implication. And then you hear the motorcycle coming. Batwing comes out. Prince rolls up. And he's just staring at me with those intense Prince eyes, and not in like the cool sexual way, but just like, I'm Prince. Morris Day's passed out pretty much in the goddamn trash can trying to figure out what's happening.
Yes.
I'm sticking with Morris Day because he is the least dangerous. He can't pull himself out the trash.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
This motherfucker on the motorcycle, I gave him a guitar and he smacked me because I got a music career going.
Yeah. Freak show.
She takes a drink and he gets pissed because his mom drinks, and like that's the whole connotation. His mom likes to go out and party and whatever, and that's the whole problem with his parents. So he gets mad that she's drinking, and then again smacks the shit out of her, and then he's like goes to hit her again. She gets pissed, throws the fucking earring, and she bounces. And then he gets home to more abuse, and his dad shoots himself.
What had to be, I don't know if there's a weapon less than a 22. Like, did you shoot yourself with a BB gun?
Well, that's
an airsoft pellet.
Like, I mean, he shot himself in the head and he survived. And the gun that they showed, it was a revolver. Prince destroys the house here, finds his dad's sheet music, and starts...
Because his dad's also a liar.
Yeah, and starts to learn things. He finally starts fucking with Lisa and Wendy's song that night.
This is another thing where I wish you had an actor who could take on dialogue, because he listens to their song throughout the movie at different periods in time. You can tell he's into it.
Yeah.
But his range of nonverbal acting isn't good enough to convey what the fuck he's thinking every time. He just keeps listening to it, and he's still this blank stare.
Yeah.
What's going on? And we know you can't handle the dialogue, so we'll never know.
It cuts back to the club here. Morris Day and the Time is performing, so apparently they're opening for him now. If you notice, like, Prince performs a ton in this, right? Because Prince has a ton of hits. Morris Day performs twice because they only had 2 hits.
He has to. He only has to. And first off, The Bird, I was dancing around my fucking house this morning like an asshole looking like Coco Beware, walking down to the fucking ring. It was ridiculous how into that song I am.
Oh my God. How long was the concert that you saw? 13 minutes? Because they only performed 2 songs and left, I'm sure.
I don't want to see you no more. Gentlemen, are we ready? Thank you.
They did those 2 songs 4 times.
I can take you fucking with Morris Day at the time anymore. Unsubscribe to this channel because it's over. Fuck you for making fun of Morris Day at the time like that.
After Morris Day gets done with their second hit, they're walking down the hall and they're making fun of Let's Go Crazy.
Let's get crazy. Let's get down.
There's songs that Prince has written, and there's not many that are bad songs. I mean, it was like he just wrote fucking bangers his whole career. But to this point in his career, you could probably pick a song. I don't know. Make fun of Computer Blue. What are you making fun of Let's Go Crazy for? The fuck is your problem? That's a fucking fantastic song. Like, I got mad at that. But they're laughing and joking about it and Let's Go Crazy. And then they walk by and Morris Day stops, comes back, and asks him,
how's the family?
If you walk up to somebody and say to them, how's the family, about 30 seconds after the dad tried to commit suicide, you should prepare to die.
Yes.
Absolutely. You are going to probably get murdered by that person.
Yes.
I can't even believe he said, I don't think he could believe he said that. Because in between that take and the take where he goes up against the wall and he's looking around, it looks like somebody just gave him the script and he found out his dad fucking shot himself. He's like, how's the family? Hi, your dad's kooky. And he's like, yo, man, that motherfucker just shot himself. And he went, oh, fuck.
You can have that healthy rivalry between bands and whatever, but like bitch, there's a line and you just fucking stepped over it. Like, you just fucking settle the fuck down. The revolution then hits the stage.
He says, this goes out to my father, something, something, something.
Yes.
So if your dad has a name, why doesn't he have a name in the credits?
I don't know.
Did you think that would confuse us?
Apparently.
I don't get it.
Whatever. This goes out to my dad, father. And then he says that, he's going to perform this song written by Lisa and Wendy, to which everybody's surprised in the band. Also, from being in bands in the past, not something you're going to want to do on a regular, just surprise the band with like, hey, this is a song that they wrote. It's not really finished. I finished it on my own time. We're going to go ahead and perform it for y'all live here.
Especially with Dr. Drugs and Prince's understudy. Have never heard it. They've never heard it. What are you talking about?
And they perform it beautifully.
Flawlessly.
They play Purple Rain here, and the crowd goes crazy. He leaves again after the song to like another like one song concert performance.
He's big time in his feelings on this one. Like
yes.
He's doing the like getting very emotional.
He decides, I'm going to go and finish this show, yada, yada, goes by the waitress. But he gets back on stage. They start playing I Would Die For You. It goes to another montage. Apollonia, during this montage, comes back to her abusive boyfriend because he's learned things and stuff. And now he's not going to be abused. Stop.
Yeah. Let me tell you what Apollonia did here. She made a business decision.
Yeah. Yes, she did.
With Morris, as a member of a band, was with Morris. Saw he wasn't going to make it. Saw the crowd responded to Prince and was like, you know what? If I got to put up with some Ike and Tina shit for a couple months to get my name out there, fuck it.
I guess. But like
maybe I can quit lying to people once I make it and telling them I'm from New Orleans.
Yeah, but Prince, like, finally in this last scene, the concert scene, the montage, becomes the star that everybody thought he would be. This is where he jizzes on the crowd with the guitar during the solo, and then he stares back at the camera, freeze frame, end of movie, creepiest freeze frame to end a movie of all time. So at the beginning, most chaotic opening, and at the end, creepiest closing and freeze frame of all time.
Disagree with that. I took a screenshot of it, and it is currently being framed.
It's my new background on my phone. So I'll ask you: does this movie still hold up?
Oh, definitely. The soundtrack is, in my opinion, the best soundtrack of all time, and that alone makes this movie hold up because his music is just timeless. The movie is dog shit. Let's be clear about it. The movie's dog shit. Music is amazing, and that's why you're watching it. If you want to see Prince act, go watch Under the Cherry Moon and call me and tell me how that went for you.
Listen, if you go in with certain expectations, you will, and when the credits roll in this, you will be like, oh, okay. You'll be singing Prince tunes, you'll be dancing around the house like I was, and everything will be okay. It holds up in that regard. As far as just a movie, if you're like, hey, it's Friday night and I need to watch something entertaining, and this isn't the movie for you. If you're a big music fan, you love Prince music, go watch this movie. You'll be disappointed in the acting, but you'll be like in these scenes, because they're quick cuts. A lot of these scenes, it quick cuts back to the club and him performing, because the writer and the director knew exactly what you wanted to see.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, this. If you try and watch Purple Rain and you have the balls to actually be like, the acting in this is stupid, you're the one that's fucking stupid for going into this expecting people to be acting.
Yes.
Just that's the only way.
You know what this reminded me of a little bit? Flashdance. It had a Flashdance-esque especially like the streets, the talking and walking scenes in the streets, the club owner. Like there was a lot of Flashdance to this, and I hated Flashdance.
Yeah, this because I like this movie. This reminded me of the Blues Brothers, that kind of formulaic style.
Yeah, I get that.
Not really in it for the acting, not really in it for the plot. We're here to watch everybody perform music.
Yes.
And that's it.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And again, Prince, dog shit actor, but my God, the guy's one of the most talented people to ever walk the earth. And his performance in this on stage, like you could tell how comfortable he is on stage versus how comfortable he is acting. And he is not comfortable acting. He is so very comfortable performing on stage, because in this movie, that's when it's like, oh, like he's not even acting there. That's just him.
Yeah, and it especially since he's passed, it's very fun watching him see these old footage of him when he was badass Prince.
Yes.
Just fucking killing it in everything he did.
No, absolutely.
So from that aspect, It's a lot of fun. If you're one of these highbrow dickheads who like goes to Rotten Tomatoes to actually rate movies, we get it. You're not going to like it.
Yeah.
Like Armando.
Absolutely.
But if you're like me and are, an easygoing, fun-loving person, you should enjoy this movie.
I think that's the first time it's ever been alluded to the fact that I'm highbrow.
And I'm easygoing. So
I think we'll end on that note. Do you have anything else?
No.
All right. For Corey, I'm Armando. This is Kiss the Reviews, and this was 1984's Purple Rain. All right. Let me take this shit off. I'm hot as fuck right now.
Yeah, you are.